You think Christmas is all about joy, family, and jolly old Saint Nick? Think again. Tonight, I'm ripping open the festive facade to reveal the horrifying origins of this so-called holiday. Before we dive into the abyss, here are the core bitter truths that'll shatter your illusions right from the start. Christmas isn't Christian at all. It's a stolen pagan ritual born from blood-soaked winter solstices, where ancient gods demanded sacrifices to survive the endless dark. Santa Claus? He's no saint. His roots trace back to horned demons, cannibal scarecrows, and drug-fueled shamans who hallucinated their way into your chimney. Those flying reindeer? Forget cute cartoons. They're inspired by real animals high on toxic mushrooms, leading shamans on terrifying vision quests through the frozen hell of Siberia. Elves aren't adorable helpers. They're descended from malevolent Norse spirits and medieval demons that lurked in the shadows, ready to punish or possess the unwary. Climbing down the chimney? That's not magic. It's a portal for evil entities, from witches and goblins to child-whipping monsters invading homes under the cover of night. The Christmas tree? It's a pagan idol hung with traps for evil spirits and webs spun by spiders and tales of poverty and despair. By the end of this expose, you'll never look at your holiday decorations the same way. You'll see the evil lurking beneath. Buckle up. The bitter truth is about to claw its way out. Let's start at the beginning, because the entire celebration is built on a foundation of terror. You celebrate December 25th as Jesus' birthday? Wrong. The Bible doesn't even mention the date. The early Christians hijacked this day from ancient pagans to convert the masses. But what they stole was pure nightmare fuel. In Scandinavia, it was Yule, a midwinter solstice festival from December 21st to January, when the sun barely rose and the world plunged into eternal darkness. Vikings and Norse folk burned massive logs, feasting on slaughtered animals, believing the sparks foretold new life or death. But lurking in the shadows was Odin, the one-eyed god of war and madness. He flew through the stormy skies on his eight-legged horse, Sleipnir, deciding who would live or perish. People cowered indoors, terrified he'd drag them to Valhalla, or worse, to hell's frozen underworld. Sound familiar? That flying figure judging naughty or nice? Yeah, that's Odin's ghost haunting your Santa stories. Head south to Rome, and you get Saturnalia, a week of chaotic hedonism honoring Saturn, the god of time and harvest. Slaves swapped roles with masters, but it wasn't all fun. Human sacrifices were rumored, gifts exchanged to appease dark forces, and on December 25th, they celebrated Mithra, the unconquerable sun god, born from a rock in a cave. Blood rituals, orgies, and flipped social orders masked the fear of winter's famine and death. The church slapped Jesus on top, but the evil underbelly remains. Your holiday feasts echo those desperate pleas for survival. Your lights ward off the encroaching void. Christmas isn't birth. It's a scream against the dying of the light, twisted into consumerism to hide the horror. Ask yourself, when you deck the halls, are you really celebrating peace or invoking ancient gods who demand blood? Now, let's turn to that evergreen centerpiece in your living room. Cute, right? Wrong. The Christmas tree is a pagan relic, dripping with supernatural dread. It all stems from Yule again. Those same terrified Scandinavians brought evergreens indoors to symbolize eternal life amid winter's death grip. But dig deeper. In ancient Germany, trees were sacred to Odin, hung with offerings, including human sacrifices. Victims dangled from branches as gifts to the gods, their blood fertilizing the soil for spring's return. Christians in the 16th century Germany tamed it by decorating with fruits and nuts, but the dark essence lingers. Then there's tinsel, that shiny stuff. One legend says it comes from a poor widow whose Christmas tree was covered in spider webs overnight. Miraculously, they turned to silver and gold in the sunlight. Sweet? Hardly. Spiders in folklore are omens of doom, weavers of fate like the Norns, who spun Odin's threads of destiny. In Ukraine and Germany, people still hide jeweled spiders in trees for good luck. But really, it's to appease arachnid spirits tied to death and deception. And those baubles? Originally Yule balls or fairy balls, shiny orbs designed to trap evil spirits. Hang one, and wandering ghosts get sucked in, their reflections twisted forever. Immigrants brought this to America in the 17th century, but the intent was clear. Your tree isn't decoration, it's a spirit prison, warding off the demons that roam the winter nights. Imagine this. As you plug in the lights, you're not just illuminating beauty. You're illuminating a barrier against the horrors that once swung from those branches. Bitter truth? Your tree stands as a silent sentinel over forgotten atrocities. Ah, Santa, the jolly fat man with the beard. But peel back the layers and you'll find a monster mosaic that'll haunt your dreams. Sure, he's partly St. Nicholas, a 3rd century Turkish monk who secretly gifted gold to poor girls to save them from prostitution. Noble? Maybe. But his legend fused with far darker figures. In Holland, Sinterklaas arrived on a boat with Black Peter, a chained Moor who beat bad kids. But the real terror? Santa's pagan twins. In alpine regions, this horned goat demon counterpart to Santa drags chains and birch switches. On December 5th, Krampusnacht, he kidnaps naughty children in a sack, drowning them in rivers or devouring them alive. Parades still feature costumed Krampuses whipping crowds, rowdy rituals echoing ancient fertility rites with real violence. Then Hans Trapp from Alsace, a greedy knight who made a devil's pact, got excommunicated, disguised as a scarecrow, and cannibalized a child before lightning struck him dead. Parents warned he'd abduct kids into the forest. Belsnickel in Pennsylvania, a fur-clad fiend who slithers down chimneys to whip the wicked. But the ultimate bitter truth? Santa's deepest roots are in Siberian shamanism. Indigenous shamans donned red and white outfits mimicking the Amanita muscaria mushroom, that toxic, hallucinogenic fly agaric with its red cap spotted white. They harvested these shrooms under pine trees, your Christmas tree prototype, dried them on branches like ornaments, and ingested them for visions. To avoid full toxicity, they drink reindeer urine after the animals ate the mushrooms, filtering the high. Hallucinations made them fly through spirit worlds, delivering gifts of enlightenment or madness. Enter in snow-buried yurts through roof smoke holes. That's your chimney descent. Santa isn't a saint, he's a drugged-out shaman, his ho, 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 a echo of ecstatic trances, his suit stained with the colors of poison. The modern version? Coca-Cola's 1930s campaign sanitized it all. But next time you leave cookies, remember, you're feeding a phantom born from demons and delirium. Rhetorical question, is that laugh you hear joy? Or the cackle of something ancient and hungry? Speaking of flying, those reindeer, not from a poem, from psychedelic nightmares. Clement Moore's 1822 'Twas the night before Christmas, name them Dasher, Dancer, etc., but the flying bit, straight from shamanic lore. In Siberia, reindeer herds munched Amanita muscaria, entering frenzied states, jumping erratically as if soaring. Shamans, riding the high, envisioned guiding these beasts through the skies on vision quests. Rudolph's red nose, a nod to the mushroom's crimson cap, glowing in hallucinatory haze. Bitter truth, your adorable sleigh team symbolizes animals poisoned for spiritual power, their flight a metaphor for mind-altering terror. Without the shrooms, no magic, just madness. Elves? Forget Will Ferrell. Their origins are straight from hellish folklore, rooted in Norse Alfar. Hidden folk, who were ethereal but treacherous, causing illness or misfortune if offended. Medieval Christians demonized them, linking elves to Satan's minions, dark spirits that haunted homes and stole souls. In Yule traditions, they were mischievous brownies or goblins entering via chimneys to help or harm. Victorian America turned them into Santa's workshop slaves via immigrant tales, but the dark side persists. Icelandic Yule lads, 13 troll-like brothers with names like Meat Hook and Window Peeper, who terrorized kids with rotten potatoes or abduction, stories so scary they were banned in 1746. Bitter truth, elves aren't cute. They're surveillance demons, watching you sleep, judging your worth. Your shelf elf? A modern spy for ancient evils. Why the chimney? Because in folklore, it's the weak spot, a gateway for the supernatural. Medieval witches flew in on brooms. Greek Calicanceroi goblins slithered down to vandalize homes and terrorize families. Belsnickel and Krampus used it to punish. Shamans entered smoke holes for rituals. Chimneys were liminal spaces where the living world met the underworld, smoke carrying spirits, fire warding evil, or inviting it. Bitter truth, Santa's entry isn't whimsy, it's invasion. Your hearth, meant for warmth, is a vulnerability exploited by monsters. Lock it tight, or something might crawl out. We've uncovered the horror. Christmas, a patchwork of pagan sacrifices, demonic punishers, hallucinogenic rites, and spirit traps, repackaged by corporations to numb the fear. It's not celebration, it's survival instinct, cloaked in cheer to forget the dark. Next time you sing carols or unwrap gifts, remember the blood, the drugs, the demons. The bitter truth? The real evil is how we've forgotten and let it into our homes. If this chilled your soul, like, subscribe, and share your own holiday horrors in the comments.